Good afternoon, guys. 6th of January 2020. Piotr here. This is Light Forex Global YouTube channel, and we are going to make an update in relation to the crypto market. I'm going to talk the charts only. Don't forget, guys, we are talking about the charts only, price action, what is going on the chart. So many different other things may influence what is going on, right? But anyway, we are going to talk as usual, Bitcoin versus US dollar, as well as Ethereum versus US dollar. Looks like bulls avoid the crash. There was a previous week situation with the attempt to move below 7,000, where some guys were thinking that, whoa, we are going to see much lower levels. Anyway, as you can see here, this lower shadow over here, so looks like well, market was able to get back above 7,000. Anyway, slowly from the very beginning, where we are and what is going on. So there is we were discussing this quite a few times. That's the latest weakness, right? And we were trying to hold that level few times already, right? It was like here, and last week as well. All right, so the 7,000, maybe a little bit below 7,000, down towards 6,600, 6,500. From the weekly chart perspective, it looks very good. But don't forget what I've said previously. Once we are going to break that level, right, probably we are going immediately retest 5,000. All right. So the possible demand zone based on the weekly chart we have right here, right now. From the price action, we've seen a late March, very beginning of the April of 2019. All right. So that's how the situation looks like from the weekly chart perspective based on the possible demand. What about possible supply? Still here. Still here. The bottom of the China related news rally, as well as the weekly open, right, somewhere around 8,000, 8,300. That's where we have a supply, and we are not going to discover America here, because it's enough to check what happened few weeks in a row. After the break of that 8,000, 7,500, we were trying to get back. Upper shadow, boom, down, upper shadow, another lower level. So from the weekly chart perspective, right here, right now, in my opinion, the good thing is that we didn't crash last week, right? So that's the positive thing. But to be super ultra hawkish here, it would be good to get back above two levels. I think above this 8,300, right, as well as recover above the previous, what was supposed to work as a demand and been broken, right? So this level was supposed to work as a demand, and to be quite frankly, well, we've seen reaction few times, right? So right now it's not a surprise that something didn't work as a demand because it was finally broken here. So right here, right now, every time we have retest, we see rejection. So would be good, as I mentioned first, to try to get back above 8,300, but would be great to see the daily close above 8,800, right? So that's how I see the things from the weekly chart perspective. Let's switch lower. Let's switch to the daily chart. Let's have a look what we have on a daily chart, okay? So on the daily chart, it's even better visible to what we discussed a second ago. What is needed, where we need to go, where we have to close above which levels, right? To get the things a little bit more excited, right? So as you can see, we're trying twice, and that's what we discuss on the weekly. It's better visible here on a daily chart, right? So it's gonna be great to get back here and here, right, above these levels. At the same time, as you can see, it's going to be another attempt to break falling trend line. Isn't going to work this time, right? The question is it going to work this time? Hopefully, right? So the perfect bullish scenario would be to first get back above 8,000. We may try to retest this falling trend line, right? But this time after the breakout. So we should hold 7,500, and finally we should see attempt to rally through 8,500, 8,800. That might be some kind of the solution. All right. So that's how I see. That's how I see the bullish case. Of course, it's not the only the bulls are on the market, right? Because in that case, we already would be somewhere in the moon, right? We have the bear side as well. So what the bears are looking for here based on this daily chart, in my opinion, okay, we might see a little bit more rally from here. We might even see the stop count of those highs here and here, right? We might see that market is going to push a little bit higher, meaning that market will try to push above this falling trend line, right? Market may want to try to push above this falling trend line, but trying to visualize at the end of the day, we are going to have something like this, meaning that, okay, we have the upper shadow, right? But the daily close is below the trend line. So that might provide another pressure when it comes to the buyers, right? So it might be selling pressure in case of the failure at the falling trend line, right? So that's what we have to, as a bulls, we have to be aware of. All right, that's I think very important. So let's switch even lower. Let's switch to the hourly chart, and let's have a look what we have from the intraday perspective. I don't like to trade too much. Actually, I'm not trading that much. More when you compare my style what I'm doing with FX, right? So here it's completely different. Anyway, what we have here clearly, I think it's not gonna be. We are not going to discover America. Look, guys, that's in my opinion the question of the latest consolidations, right? So what we have here, from the very short-term perspective, we have stop count to the downside. We had this stop count to the upsides, right? So I'm not gonna be surprised if we are, as I mentioned before, if we are going to see another stop count to the upside, just to check which side is stronger, buyers or sellers, based on this falling trend line. All right. So that's near-term target, and I think we might get some answers around this falling trend line, so be careful, right? So let's switch to the Ethereum right now, because here the things are getting interesting as well. Well, you know, we broke through 180, we broke through 160. I've been talking lately that there is a possibility that we are going to retest 100 and even 80, right? Not yet, to be honest with you. This zone been tested at around 115. All right, so that was the nice combination of hitting possible demand as well as creating failure at the bottom of the channel, right? So this is providing the opportunity to squeeze few shorts, right? This is the opportunity to try to retest 160, 170, meaning that we might see stop count above 155, right? About 155, and then it's going to be all about that zone, and as long as we are below 200, right, I wouldn't be so excited. Very similar, a very similar price action possible to what we discussed with the Bitcoin, meaning that we have this falling channel right here, right now. All right, we have this falling channel. Okay, so meaning that the squeeze, short squeeze I've been talking about a second ago, with some stop counts to the upside, it's all about top of the channel ahead of this 200 we discussed a second ago. All right, so that's quite important. So very similar situation to what we have on the Bitcoin. In that case, I would like to see the move above 145, 150, right? Then pull back eventually. So move above 150, pull back, and final rally towards top of the channel, or with the bigger spike even towards 200. But the thing is where we are going to get the daily close, right? So again, trying to visualize very similar situation to what we discussed on the Bitcoin. In case of this type of the price action, right, that might provide opportunity, that might be selling opportunity, that might be invitation for the sellers, right? So what we don't want to see as a bulls, we don't want to see any kind of the upper shadow right at the top of the of that channel. I'm monitoring very closely. We've got the price action similar to what we've seen the beginning of the previous week, so a little bit of the rally is still possible. Don't forget about the halving of the Bitcoin, but the question is if with this halving we are going to be able to cross 20k. Doesn't look like, at least for now, right? I'm monitoring very closely short-term bullish outlook, possible stop count to the upside, a little bit of the short squeeze, but then all about daily and weekly closes. So watching very, very carefully. Will update if necessary. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Take care and goodbye.